My dear friend in Christ, nil desperandum semper fidendum. This is a Latin phrase that translates never despair, always trust. Incidentally, this is the motto of the school that I studied in, St. John's High School in Bangalore City, India. Now think about this. When life is fine, it's easy to say with great faith, with great trust, Lord, you are always mine. But when things go wrong and you are feeling the storm, you feel like asking, Lord, is this your design? To trust, you have to entrust. Yes, my dear friend in Christ, to trust, you have to entrust. And to entrust means letting God handle the things that you just cannot handle. There is no glory for God in things that are possible. Now, the impossible situations in life are what cause despair, until the Lord walks into our lives to dispel that despair. Think about that Latin phrase once again. Nil desperandum, semper fidendum, never despair, always trust. Even the most zealous and committed missionaries went through periods of despair, but they never stopped trusting, they never ceased trusting. During 1889 and 90, American Methodist pastor Martin W. Knapp went through a 2-year period of adversity. He and his family were hit very, very hard by disease and financial crisis. And the worst blow came on September 5th, 1890, when his wife Lucy died after prolonged illness, leaving him with 2 little children. Now despair gripped this man of God like never before. When he went on his knees before God, he saw a vision of a rough piece of marble and a sculptor grinding and chiseling it. He saw the dust and the chips fill the air. But he noticed a beautiful image beginning to appear, and the Lord spoke to him. Son, you are that beautiful piece of marble. I have an image in my mind and I desire to produce it in your character, but I will do so only and only if you will stand the grinding. But I will stop right now if you so desire. Now Martin Knapp broke down in tears and he said, Lord, continue the chiseling, continue the grinding. And from then on, my dear friend in Christ, there was no turning back. Knapp went on to author many books, pamphlets and hymns, and he even founded several spiritual institutions and prayer camps, becoming a source of strength, of hope, of inspiration to many in their trials and tribulations. Think about Corrie ten Boom, survivor of the Holocaust. She wrote, never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God. Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God. Hope, my friend in Christ, is strengthened, not weakened in the darkest moments of our lives. Especially for those who trust that the Lord holds the switch. He will turn on the lights as He does the morning sunrise. Think about Psalm 30, verse 5. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. There is an incident of a British submarine that was once stranded underwater due to a mechanical failure. They lost communication with rescue teams. Time began to run out and they grew weaker and weaker for lack of oxygen. One crew member grew extremely weak and was about to collapse. Then the commander suggested that they all sing the beautiful hymn, Abide With Me. And the words which read, the darkness deepens, Lord with me abide. When other helpers fail, Lord with me abide. And as they began to sing, the weak crew member collapsed and his body hitting against the vessel's surface-facing equipment. And very strangely, my dear friend in Christ, the submarine began to rise and they all reached the port safely. All of us go through the mountaintop experience and the valley experience. David in the scriptures experienced both. He expressed it so vividly, most of it in the Psalms. The mountaintop experience is when you bask in success and prosperity. Praising God is a pleasure and comes with great ease and a sense of fulfillment during that mountaintop experience. The valley experience is when you are overwhelmed with uncertainty, with fear, with threats, with betrayals, failure in all its forms, and even losing people so dear to you. A hymn, God on the Mountain, God in the Valley, written by William Gaither, inspires hope in every experience. I'd like to read the first verse and the chorus for you. Life is easy when you're up on the mountain and you've got peace of mind like you've never known. But things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, for you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make them right. And the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. The psalmist assures that burdens are only temporary for those who hope and trust in the Lord. And I repeat that psalm for you. Psalm 30 verse 5. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. The psalmist also sings, even though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Psalm 23 verse 4. Think about what St. Augustine says, if sorrow makes us shed tears, faith in God dries them up. So my dear friend in Christ, when troubles hit you hard and you are losing hope and have nothing left but God, then you become aware that God alone is enough. As the psalmist sings again in Psalm 84 verse 10, for one day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. We are safer in the midst of a storm than anywhere else without Him. So never let adversity get you down, except on your knees before the Lord. May you have a good and godly day. If you like this reflection and if you feel blessed, please pass it on to others.